Hi, Ken.
Hi.
How are you? Quick question. I sent an email off. Do you know if Be Ready will have anything in Spanish?
You know, I got your email and we're going to discuss that at our next committee meeting that we have. Right now, all the workshops are in English. We do have flyers that are in Spanish and we'll have those available. But right now, none of the workshops are available in Spanish.
One thing that works really well is just to provide like headphones and a interpreter. Do you know, will that be the case at all, as opposed to offering things only in Spanish?
You know, we've not done that before, but we could certainly discuss it. We'll be discussing that. One concern we have about that is if we start doing that, then we have to open it up for other languages as well. And
Right.
so that is a concern. But certainly we could check too with the Expo Center and find out what they've done in the past. We might be able to find some resources that they've used. So that's a good question.
I'll drop it off here.
Yeah, thank you. We'd love to be able to help share it to that community, but we need a
Right.
little support in order to do that.
Sure.
Thank you.
Just a side note, down at the PIO conference in St. George, the State Department of Health has a lot of language resources. Now, I don't know for sure if that means that they would be willing to, assist with stuff like that, but I know they're doing a lot of that for, COVID and outreach and things like that. It might be worth just a phone call or an inquiry just to see.
Thanks, John. Yeah, that's good. I appreciate you raising the issue on that. That's good.
I mean, I know how extremely, buried they are with COVID stuff, but you never know. They might be able to, they might even have some pre-made stuff. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll put that on the agenda, at least for our next meeting, and we'll kind of go from there. But I'll mention too, the resource that you mentioned, John. We may get back to you on that.
The other thing to consider too is Governor Cox might have some funding if we're not able to get it donated because of just the sheer importance of the information being shared. There might be a way to get it donated.
Yeah, very good. Thanks, Lori.
I have something to contribute to that too. So we have a lot of Spanish providers. And so there's a feature in PowerPoint. And if you turn on the translation subtitles, it'll literally translate what you're speaking in English into Spanish as subtitles on a blank PowerPoint screen.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is great to know.
Option. Awesome.
So do you have to like sign up for that availability, or is that now? Because I have not seen that before.
No, it's just in PowerPoint. If you have a license to PowerPoint, you have it.
Oh, I'm completely going to check that out. Thank you.
Yeah, learned something new today.
Nice. Awesome. Thank you. Well, welcome everyone, and I appreciate you coming to our meeting on this Veterans Day. I'd like to thank Captain Rob and Salvation Army for hosting us, for those of us who are here in person, and thank you for those who are joining us online. And again, a nod to Veterans Day. Excuse me. Excuse me. Let's see if I can get the quote right. On the 11th, in the 11th hour, on the 11th day, in the 11th month, the armistice for World War I was signed, and that is continued as Veterans Day. And so we want to recognize all our veterans, and just thank you, Ken Crowdy, because I know it's a state. We're excusing our many of our state partners because it is Veterans Day and is a federal holiday, and also excused are Richard Linford and Sheila Atkins. They have some family health issues, and Carrie asked to be excused as well. And Bill Tolbert left a message for me this morning, and his son stopped by to take him to a Veterans Day breakfast. And so we excuse Bill. Nice. And I just want to give a heads up to any of our veterans. Can you raise your hands if if you are veterans or have served or are serving now, there's Ken, Steve, Pat here in the room. Craig, I see a hand. And there are some other screens.
Don't forget Wayne, he'll be mad.
Funny wave.
Wayne. Wayne. So anyone else that I'm not, several people are not on screen. If you want to put in the chat to Captain Rob is going to cover our chat box with Sheila being out today. So again, just a welcome to our veterans. A year ago, I was in Washington, DC, or in March for a conference. And on my last day, I was able to go around several of the monuments. And I went to the Korean War Memorial Monument because my father-in-law was a chaplain in the Korean Army. And on that monument, it said, freedom is not free. So again, just a heads up to our veterans today and appreciate all that you've done for our country. And on to the announcements. Number one, Richard Linford, a couple of years ago, it sounds like, went over our bylaws. And so as we restructured our new leadership, we're going to have our executive team go over that, these bylaws the next couple of months. And then we will have an executive meeting January 6th, I believe, and we'll go over that. And then for our January 13th meeting, we will let our general membership vote just on the amendments, the change to the leadership with the vice presidents for region 1, 2, 3, and 4. Number two, Wayne has done a fantastic job updating our website. So Wayne or Captain Rob, if you could throw our website into the chat, it's utahvoad.org. And we would like to direct all of our partners to go to that. And on the Find a Partner page, please make sure that your contact information is correct. And if you have any feedbacks or comments, Wayne would appreciate that as well. Wayne has also, he established a Google number that's on our website. And he also established a YouTube channel for us. And I don't know, do you, Captain Rob or Wayne, can you put that YouTube link in our chat box for everyone? So on our YouTube channel, that's where we will put our meetings or relevant information. And then anything else that you'd like to throw in about the website, Wayne?
No, I think you covered everything there. I was making sure. I was just going to mention that I'd like everybody to look through it if you have a chance, and please just contact me if you find anything that we need to change. Thank you so much.
And thank you so much for all your work on that, Wayne. Much appreciated. And Carrie Malkovic has, she's our public relations. Wayne is our senior vice president of IT, and Carrie is our vice president of public relations. And Carrie is going to put together a newsletter for us every month. So Carrie needs your help. If your organization is out doing good, if you could designate someone from your organization to be the point person to write up maybe a paragraph on what you've done and some pictures and send those to Carrie so that she can get that out in our newsletter and yeah, just keep track of that, and maybe also send it to Wayne as well. So if we need to put that either on our website or our YouTube channel, that would be fantastic. And then we have some leadership badges here that Captain Rob offered to print up. Salvation Army and Carrie Malkovic had those printed, and Trevor brought those up from Utah County. And so this is for our executive leadership team. And thank you to Captain Rob and Salvation Army for for printing those up. And yeah, Carrie will get that bill to you. So much appreciated on that. So these are some of the good things that our the Utah State VOAD is doing. And then I think that's all the announcements. And then our presentation is going to be on Operation Slick Rock. And it was going to be James Young from Team Rubicon, but he has been deployed. So Steve Nilsson graciously has volunteered to step in, and Steve wears a couple of hats. He wears a Red Cross hat and he wears a Team Rubicon hat. And today he has that Team Rubicon hat on. So for now, I will turn the time over to Steve. And Steve, if you want to introduce yourself, that would be great.
Yes, my name's Steve Nelson. I've been with Team Rubicon about 6.5 years. Because of the COVID, I have taken some time off from the various other VOAD places that I work, aside from Rubicon and Red Cross. Red Cross have been very active and deployed often in the last couple of years. Jeff sends his apologies. He was originally going to do this, and then James Young was unable to do it. And I didn't know Wayne was on the call, and I was hoping maybe if he would have known, he could have done this. But it is what it is. Thank you, Wayne, for being here, and I know you're doing a wonderful job. Well, Operation Slick Rock is scheduled to go ahead and begin. Next slide. Operation Slick Rock is scheduled to begin March 10th of next year in Moab, Utah. It's going to be the same focus that we did originally had planned in 2020, when we unfortunately had to cancel it due to COVID. Can I have the next slide? Yep. This is the background on what happened, Team Rubicon's involvement with emergency management in Grand County. June 9, 2018, a fire was caused by a young adult who was, whatever reason, was playing with fire. It got out of hand down in the Pack Creek area of Moab. And in doing so, 9 homes were destroyed. We contacted Angela Crowther from the Department of Emergency Management for the state of Utah. And I asked her to get for an introduction to the emergency management down there. And she got us in contact with Steve White, the sheriff, and also Rick Bailey, who was emergency manager at that time. Rick has since retired. Our partnership from 2018 evolved. That was July of 2018. We were down there in 100-degree temperatures having a fun time. The next spring, in March of 2019, we made a partnership and solidified the partnership with Grand County by supplying, I believe, can I have another slide? Another group came down there. We had probably 65 volunteers from Team Rubicon, and we also partnered with local forestry, wildfire protection plans, state lands, as it's noted on the screen there. It was very successful. The support by the community in Moab was phenomenal, as well as emergency management and the sheriff's office there. Restaurants were great. Any questions so far? Somebody? Okay. Well, now, after that operation, Team Rubicon spoke with the sheriffs down there, emergency management. We planned on having an operation that would go full scale and involve all the VOAD members. It was scheduled originally for March of 2020. With COVID happening, that kind of ended our plans for that. We canceled it 2 weeks prior to the initial onset of the operation. But we have been in contact with Moab, the new emergency manager, and the Sheriff White of Grand County, community, and also other partners. Can I have the next one? Oh, you're good. And this is our 2019 response metrics. How many hours? 2,068 cumulative hours that we worked down there. That is equal to a year's of one person's 8 hours, 5 days a week work total. So basically one human worked 1 year on that, but we had 64 members. We saved the county over $60,000 and with our response down there. Again, we had a lot of assistance from the local community there and the wildfire protection people. Next screen. Okay, March 2022 goals is we're going to return to Moab with VOAD partners March 18th to the 20th. Grand County itself, emergency management has requested exercising emergency sheltering. The place we're going to be holding the main event, the sheltering for the volunteers coming in, the training exercises will be at the Old Spanish Trails Coliseum. It is where they do the rodeos and community programs. So our goals are wildfire mitigation, chainsaw operations, sheltering, feeding, hygiene. There are going to be hopefully some additional trainings in emergency management, disaster response, and opportunity for VOAD partners to exercise operational capability during blue sky. Next. Okay, what you have down here in the bottom right is where the original fire in 2018 began. That was the Cinema Court fire. And we've also identified since that time and during that time, they have requested additional assistance with Team Rubicon and our volunteer partners where we want to hit it. Notice in the top right, you'll see the red and the yellow there. To the right of that is the Grand County Hospital. So it's kind of interesting, being helpful to get down there. And that whole creek that comes through there with those homes on the north side of the next square, you'll see just a line of apartments and stuff like that. And as Pat Creek goes down, it's overgrown. They've done a lot of work in the last 2 years, the local community, the other groups who are maintaining or trying to maintain the mitigation efforts down there in Moab. When we talked to them a couple of weeks ago, we asked if, they talked about how much stuff they've done and said, and we asked, do you really need us? Would we be helpful? And her response was, well, you'd be helpful for the next many years because there's so much work to be down there. And when I toured down there with emergency management a couple of years ago, we even went down to Colorado where some invasive plant species was taking over the area there that in the future they would like to have that also taken care of. And there is a tremendous amount of work down there. Next screen. This is the Old Spanish Forks Trails Arena. On the bottom left, that is the main focus. In the top right is where they have the rodeos. They can harden that ground. They quote it's almost as hard as cement. Or they can put more dirt in there and have barrel racing, stuff like this. On the left, you'll see the green field above it. And to the left, a ballpark. It kind of cuts the next slide after this. I'll show you a better thing of that. On the left, on the bottom, on the right, I guess now, a little bit Sawyer operations. Admin is upstairs in a building, and the motor pool will be down there. Our initial plans is Old Spanish Trail Arena is to have Red Cross set up a sheltering operation so we can have tours, and I'll get into that shortly. Next one, of course, we can probably use bottom left field as additional camping space, and on top of that, just above the trail arena itself is an old racetrack. We could also use dry camping to if people prefer that. So the area and the old, just below the Old Spanish Trail Arena, there, back one. There's a little, by the ball field, there's a covered field, covered podium. It's quite large, and that's where the feeding operation will be. It's covered, and we will be able to have electricity and stuff like that. Next one, please. This is the dry camping area just north of that, the old racetrack and stuff like that. That necessarily we can put cars there, other equipment, store them overnight and stuff like that as backup. Next question. This is the pavilion itself where we plan on having all the kitchen facilities set up at currently. Next. Sawyer training area, the building in the two-story building, that's where the people are going to have the command staff working. Ball field itself, where we'll have a training area for Sawyers. And just to the left of this picture is going to be that other large field. Next. This is the building, closer view of it. There is going to be some restrooms, stuff like this. Electricity, there's going to, they have camper hookups, and I've not been down for a couple of years, so I'm not certain exactly how many trailers they can support, but they have quite a bit of space to use. Next. And the next question is, who is in? We do plan on having a state VOAD, a VOAD member phone call of those parties interested in assisting do this operation. We're going to, get as many people as we can, but we are limited with COVID. Normally, initially, we were going to talk about having 300 people in the various groups down there. It's going to be less than that. If we move away from the Spanish Trails arena, we'll be able to house people in the drier areas, or if they bring down their own campers, they can stay in there. But right now, we're going to be hard to say exactly how many people we're going to have down there, but it's closer to the 200 mark. And the question is, who's in? We will be again having a meeting with Jeff, with the VOAD members, and support from them to iron that out. Additionally, during this time period, the state of Utah is going, the Utah Emergency Managers Association will be having their annual conference in Moab. And there's going to be a day where they can go through these areas, watch the groups work in a safe manner, go in there, have questions answered by sheltering experts from the Red Cross, feeding experts, Southern Baptist, chainsaw operations from our other partners, Church of Scientology, Southern Baptist, and whatever other group would like to join us down there. Is there any questions you all may have?
Can I just add something? I talked to Mike McComb a couple of days ago, and he said in their planning process for UWEMA, they were going to have on the 16th, it's Wednesday, and the 17th, Thursday, they were going to have morning talks and then have a group A, group B, and like maybe both of those days. Like one day, maybe they'd go out and see the shelter feeding, and maybe another day they'd go out and see the soaring sites. So that's kind of just
That's good.
what they're, and I think they're still in the planning phase as well.
Okay, originally also 2 years ago, we planned on, and Rick Bailey, who was emergency manager for Grand County at the time, wanted to test his ham radio people. That was going to be set up through, what's the group down in Castle Death, Sinbad system.
Sinbad radio.
And they were going to be trained by them. Emergency manager in Emery County, Kyle Ecker, was going to meet with his people, the Sinbad people, and have them train the Moab people, because they're very interested in having their local ham groups trained. And they would probably put operators down there in the field areas close to where they're cutting, or the other areas, and then just using communications, use the ICS forms to fill these things out. And that was mentioned earlier on this newest operation, but I think that'd be something we should be able to talk to Grand County about and incorporate that. And this right here, we can come exercise your operational capability in blue sky. I think this is highly valuable. Show the eastern part of Utah who's unfamiliar with VOAD, what we can do, what our operations are like, and what we can provide. That's all I have unless there's more questions.
Steve, when are we gonna collect up the resources and what have you? This is Joeva.
We're going to have another meeting when Jeff gets back. He's going to set up a VOAD meeting to outline what the VOAD groups can do,
Okay,
we want to do. And then we're going to have probably another Team Rubicon / VOAD meeting also. We still
okay,
have
great,
5 months.
good. Well, yeah, we're definitely in. To what extent we'll see. But I've lined up some other resources in just things we need, toilets and laundry and what have you. So that should be, it's going to be, I encourage every one of us to go down there with the group because it's going to be invaluable.
I agree with you, Joey. I think this is one of the best exercises. In my travels across the US with the Red Cross, I have talked to a lot of people about this and they are extremely envious what's going to be happening in Utah.
Exactly.
So we've already been talking with Jeff, actually. One of my guys from headquarters and Jeff and I were on the phone on Tuesday because even though it's 5 months away for us to get non-emergency funds for the amount of funds we're talking about for feeding, it's a short period. So
Yes,
so probably like you guys. So,
yes,
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyone else have any questions for Steve or Operation Slick Rock?
thank you.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. That
You
was
can put that check mark by my name. Jeff will be happy.
very good. Thank you. And is that something you could share with Wayne and we could put on our YouTube channel for, or do we want to wait till it's more like ironed out specific?
I think if Wayne, if you can go ahead and talk to Jeff, and I'm not sure who above Jeff is running this now. I know there's been some changes already. So if you want to talk to Jeff, probably be the best bet how you want to do that.
Yeah, I'll get with Jeff. I'm actually joining the CNG staff for that soon. So yeah, I'll get with them. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, let's go on to our reports and Region 1, Bill Tobert, again, Bill is excused, enjoying his Veteran Day breakfast with his son. Region 2, Rhonda Huber, are you online, Rhonda?
I am, and sorry, I'm kind of going to be hit and miss for the rest of the meeting. Unfortunately, one of our churches out in Twilla got vandalized twice this week, and we got vandalized last week and a couple weeks ago. And so I've one of my hats is to go and help make sure the building can get secured. So been trying to juggle a few balls this week in the air. So a little bit about Region 2. We had our last meeting on the 28th of October. And we had an amazing presentation with Kevin McCauley from the state of Utah. Just really helpful. He talked about the crisis care process and kind of gave us kind of a state of situation of where we are with the COVID response, especially with the hospitals and surges and everything. So very, very good presentation. I'm putting together a survey to send out to the Region 2 folks to see how they want to be involved. If they want to continue to be getting emails, do they want to be invited to which meeting, state, region, both? So I'm hoping to get that done within the next week or so we can have our information up to date. We have about 150 people on our contact list, so that's a lot. So we just want to make sure those who are on the contact list want to continue to be on that. So that's what's going on with Region 2.
Awesome. Thank you. And Trevor, Region 3.
Yeah, hi, everybody. Just a few notes. Been working with Carrie We're working on updating our email and contact list. There's some organizations we still don't have a good contact information for them, so we're working on updating that and reaching out to organizations who may not be on our list to date, so we can get better participation in Region 3. We're going to move our regional meetings to every other month, and then on the off months, Carrie and I will meet. So we'll hold November's meeting next week. We've invited Tabitha's Way, which is a local organization for us. They have, I believe, 2 locations, one in North Utah County, one in the South, right there in Spanish Fork. They're going to discuss food insecurity in Utah and how we can help, how we can get involved. January, I've spoken with Matt Stevens, our new regional director of Utah and Nevada for the Red Cross. He is still in Texas, but he's going to be making his way here when he can find a place to live. So he and our new disaster program manager that's newly hired will be presenting for us in January. March, we talked about attending Slick Rock. I will be there for the UIMA conference, and I was excited to attend everything going on during Slick Rock. We talked about the possibility of interviewing someone from Team Rubicon while we're down there and having a live presentation with those that can't attend. I don't know if that'd be a possibility, but we can talk about that down the road.
Yes, that'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
Wayne might have a better idea about that.
Okay. And that's about it. We're doing well, and we're trying to engage our organizations in the best way we can.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. And Region 4, again, we are working on finding a vice president and secretary, and also we also need a secretary someone to step up in Region 2 to help Rhonda as well. And is Jalea Thompson or anyone else with a Red Cross hat online?
I am on, Lisa. Apologies, no video in the voice. I'm fighting strep throat, but I am here.
Oh, okay. You want to go ahead, Jalea?
Absolutely. So I was going to post in chat. The Red Cross does have multiple new staff members and points of contacts, especially at our local VOAD regions. So I will be sure to send that out to the membership. We're excited about our new regional disaster officer, Matt Stevens, is coming to us from Texas with a lot of Red Cross and disaster experience in that very active state. So he will take leadership with our local disaster program managers and our local workforce. I will continue in my state relations director role to support state VOAD with some of our volunteer liaisons. So I'll continue at this level, but at the local region level, we'll definitely have new points of contact. Also, Red Cross is very engaged and excited about next week's national exercise. So we have the rehearsal of concepts with FEMA Region 8. We'll sit down as emergency support function, Department of Human Services, Red Cross, and VOAD really lead out emergency support function 6, which is mass care. That's all sheltering, feeding, distribution of emergency supplies, and reunification. So next week, we're going to be talking about the Wasatch Range Catastrophic Earthquake Response Plan. We'll go through the update with FEMA Region 8 and the State Division of Emergency Management, and we'll rehearse some of the concepts in that new plan. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I know Lisa's been pushing stuff out for VOAD leadership that's engaged. I think there's still openings for anybody that wants to attend virtually. I think that day one, especially when FEMA and state presents the plan, will be really interesting to all VOAD membership, but the ESF 6 desk is excited to engage and kind of run through some of our objectives for the exercise. And that's all I have to report, Lisa, pending any questions.
Thank you, Jalea. Does anyone have any questions? Jalea, when you get those new folks in, can we get their contact information sent to? If you can send it to me, then I can send it to the rest of our VOADs. But that would be great to have all those new folks' contact information.
Perfect.
Oh, and Bill Tolbert shared with me that Michael Smalden was in a bad car accident last week, and he's doing okay. But yeah, life life happens. And anyway, let Michael know that our prayers are with him. So thank you. And Ken Crowdy, anything from state? You're on mute, Ken.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm just putting in the chat our information about our expo coming up on February the 25th and 26th. You can buy tickets now for $4 or $5 beginning February 1st. I'm just putting that in the chat right now. And the new Be Ready Utah website is beready.utah.gov. Although if you use the old one, bereadyutah.gov, it still switches over to the new website. You can click on the expo box and find information about all that's happening. And we've got sponsors and we've got exhibitors that are signing up. And so we're anxious to move ahead with that. If you can refer anybody to us, that'd be great. Just go to the website and they can sign up as an exhibitor or as a sponsor or buy tickets. And so it's all set to go.
All right, thank you, Ken. And my apologies to David Cannon. I totally, you were the first guy on reports and I totally skipped you. I apologize, David.
See how I rate in this organization. That's
go ahead, David.
So in the past week, we've gone ahead and created a new business account for VOAD, which allowed us to get a card for doing the post office box, the Zoom account, and a few other things for the organization. We're also hoping to get that set up so where people can pay dues online, either using credit card in the coming year. So that brings you to the next big thing that's changing with our finances. We're going to start doing the dues in accordance with our fiscal calendar. So instead of doing the dues from June to June and the fiscal year running from January to December, we'll be sending out invoices for the new membership dues in January for the fiscal year 2022.
Awesome.
Oh, I have.
Thank you. So David and Wayne have been doing a lot of work behind the scenes. So we appreciate all that you've been doing for our website and our bank accounts and such. So thank you for that. And Brooks McRoberts from FEMA Region 8, are you on the line? Okay, he probably has the day off because of Veterans Day. So we'll excuse Brooks. And then discussion and roundtable. I'm going to go through. If anyone has anything to report, please put it in the chat and Captain Rob can pick it up. But I'm going to go through participants and just check in with folks. And so Wayne, are you good? Do you want to add anything to Team Rubicon or the website?
Nothing to add there. Dave's done an excellent job getting us all set up. Just that Team Rubicon helped the Salvation Army to set up some shelving last week on Saturday, and we're going to be doing the same this week on Saturday. And Steve Sivak, if you could approve that, I'd appreciate it. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Wayne. And that's exactly the kind of stuff we want to be sent into Carrie for our newsletter. So you all should be tooting your own horns. And when you're doing good, please send that information on to Carrie for the newsletter. Joeva, do you have anything to report?
Yeah, I actually do. We held a Faith in Blue conference at the church. We invited many officials and VIPs from other religions, and Jess came and spoke on behalf of the state from Director of Homeland, or no, what's his actual position? I can't even remember. But we had a roundtable discussion about how we can support the police and how we can work together as a community. And then we had a barbecue afterwards that we invited all the guests and families and neighbors actually to have a barbecue, and that's scheduled to now move forward every year, and that conference is going to continue. But we had the Catholic Church represented, the LDS Church, the a Muslim faith group. Gosh, who else? Lisa, did you ending up going there? I couldn't go because I was sick.
Yeah, I ended up not going because that week I had been exposed to someone who tested positive for COVID. So I
Yeah.
self-isolated so I did not go.
Yeah,
and he ended
I
up
would
being negative, but
go.
it was anyway, long story. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a rainy day too. So I was wondering how that worked out for you all.
How funny it was. The rain ended when I mean, there was no rain during the barbecue, which was amazing, but we did have our big tents up outside. So yeah, it was a crazy day.
Well,
So
wonderful.
we had Janetta Williams from the president of the NAACP came. We had the general counsel from Mexico there. We had Utah Transit Authority. Jess was there from the Department of Public Safety. And yeah, it was a very successful event. We're really happy we did it. And we've been asked for the last 2 years to be able to do it. But of course, last year we couldn't do it because COVID, and the year before, which is when they started this initiative, we just didn't have enough time to pull it together. So this was really awesome. Happy to do that. So other than that, I think we're getting ready. I've been working on Moab, getting some resources together. It's been kind of, we've all been killed in our budgets due to COVID, I'm sure. So it's been kind of a trick, but we're managing to put together quite a good team, I think, chainsaw wise and resource wise, and we'll see if we need the tents and what have you. So anyway, that's been our focus. We also got a new batch of the D7 spray. So if anybody wants to be sprayed for COVID, this is the most, it's the best solution for killing the COVID germs, and it's all free. So if anybody'd like their offices or cars or whatever, we did a lot of the police cars and fire trucks and ambulances and so forth. And for 6 months, they had not one case of COVID in their cars, which was great. So again, we offer that up. We just got a new batch from, well, actually quite a bit. So that's available if anybody knows of anyone that would like to be sprayed, any, homes or offices or cars or whatever in service. And that's what I got.
Awesome. Thank you. Linda Walton with Adventist Day. Do you have anything to report?
Yeah, we've got quite a bit going on, as a matter of fact. Right now, the community service program in the Provo Church is really overworked because we have about 300 people using our facility every week that no longer have a facility. They're homeless basically because of lack of numbers, lack of money, whatever it is. And so we have 3 schools that are using our building. We have the Red Cross, which is of course using it for the blood drives. Unfortunately, Utah County has one of the lowest per capita donation rates in the state. And so we're trying to change that and get some more blood going there. We have a bunch of schools that are using our facility as well. And the number of churches in the valley has dropped from 42 different faiths down to about 10 because they were small groups that were underfunded, that kind of thing. They just couldn't keep it together. So we're trying to help with getting them back in their facilities, or they can use ours, whatever it might be. Have also been working with Timanoga's Hospital. Of course, they've been getting out the shots and doing some other things to try to help the community, but they weren't able to get the 3rd shot. So we're having to come up with another alternative for that, and we're still working on that. The other thing is that we're working with the police departments because they are tired. There's just no other way to describe it. I feel very badly for them because they're dealing with so many different things. And so anyway, it's a really quick report, but a lot going on down here, and appreciate knowing that you guys are all on the same team. Thank you.
Thank you. Ben Geiger, will you introduce yourself, and do you have anything to report?
Yeah, thanks, Lisa. I'm Ben Geigel. I'm the Welfare and Self-Reliance Manager for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, covering West Jordan and Tooele. And nice to be on here with you all, but nothing to report today.
Thank you.
Ben, this is Ken. Have you got a second?
Sure, Ken.
Yeah, I noticed in the chat that you sent a request for some Spanish materials to Be Ready Utah. Did you send that to me? I don't recall getting that.
No, I just submitted it through the website, and I think Randy and Lori, both on our team, have probably done the same.
Okay.
So if you have any other information on that, or I was just waiting to hear back from them, but yeah, I just did it through the information request section on their website.
Yeah, I haven't seen that, so I'll try to follow up with that and get back to you.
Yeah, we'll let you know if we hear anything too. So
okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, and there's a smiling face I haven't seen in a while. Corinne Crow from Habitat. Do you have anything to report for us?
No, but I want to introduce myself. My name is Corinne Crow. I used to go to some VOAD meetings. I've kind of drifted out, and now I'm drifting back in, representing Habitat for Humanity in the Salt Lake County area. I'm the Senior Director of Operations here, and I don't have anything to report, but I'm excited to be back in the group. Good to see y'all.
Great, thank you. And Craig Bradford, do you want to introduce yourself? You're on mute, Craig.
You got to unmute up at the top, Craig.
I found it. Yes, I'm up in Ogden Valley, and my church calling is Emergency Services Coordinator. And that has extended now to the whole valley, all churches and all people. So we are putting up, it will be functional next week, a large antenna array that will be able to operate on 80, 40 and 20 meter bands. We've already talked to Elder Stanford about having a strong connection with the church so that we can get disaster relief up here. We are quite familiar with FEMA's prediction that there's going to be a large earthquake along the Wasatch Front. And then there's another threat that's out on the California, Oregon, Washington line called the Cascadia event. Both of those will bring strong tremors this way and threaten the closure of our 3 canyons that serve this valley. So we're working on disaster relief plans to figure it out and getting as many people up here qualified with CERT as we can. So it's a new movement up here, but we're really happy that you guys care about us and we want to be a part of it.
Awesome, thank you. Welcome to our group. And Don Dana with Southern Baptist, do you have anything to report?
No, nothing to report this time. We have had, a couple activities, fires back, during the summer, or fire cleanup during the summer in Colorado. And we've had a couple trees that we've cleaned out of neighbors' yards here in Salt Lake. So other than that, nothing very big going on. Just waiting, I guess, through the winter now till spring, and waiting for the next disaster, which we hope doesn't come. So that's all.
All right, thanks, Don. Elder and Sister Bates, do you want to introduce yourself and tell us where you are, what area you are in, and what your
Sure. We work with Darren Hansen in the Welfare and Self-Reliance Program in the Cache Valley area. We cover from Preston, Idaho, down to the end of Cache Valley, the south end. And Darren's actually away today on a vacation, asked us to fill in. So nothing to report from Cache Valley. But nice to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Michael Stanford, do you have anything? Introduce yourself, and do you have anything to report?
Thank you, Lisa. Elder Stanford with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints Emergency Response Department, and I work with the emergency communications here, and we're available to help any of the units with their emergency communication plans, and work extensively throughout the state for all of our units here.
Great, thank you so much. Glenn Thomas.
Hello, Glenn Thomas, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Welfare and Self-Reliance Manager, peer of Ben Geigel and several others that you'll visit with, and I have nothing to report. Thanks so much.
And tell us what area you represent.
Holiday, Cottonwood, Taylorsville, and Murray-Midville areas is the area I cover.
Awesome, thank you.
You bet.
And Heidi Lombard.
Hi, I'm Heidi Lundberg, the UNA County Emergency Manager, and I have nothing to report right now.
All right, thank you, Heidi. James Howard.
Hi, another Welfare and Self-Reliance Services Manager, and I work in the Northern Utah County region from Linden through Eagle Mountain and have nothing to report.
Thank you. And John Rokich, 211.
Hello, everybody. Nice to see you all today. This mainly affects Salt Lake County, but you're probably going to see this in all your areas. The health department has begun offering Pfizer vaccinations to children 5 to 11 years old, and they're doing it mainly in Salt Lake City elementary schools on site. And what I wanted to point out is if people do not have access to transportation, they can call 211 through our Ride United program, and we can arrange through Uber or excuse me, through Lyft to get them a ride to that vaccine clinic. I'm going to post this in the chat.
Awesome, thank you, John. Joyce Hastings, is that you, Sunshine?
No, Joyce is here as well. So
Okay.
It's a little bit of both of us.
And I'm just going down my participant list. So
Thank you so much.
So go ahead, Joyce.
So we're together. We don't have anything to report right now, but are here and willing to help if there is an unfortunate disaster that we could assist with.
And remind folks who you're with.
So we're with Care About Childcare, and our particular agency is housed at Utah Valley University. And we cover Summit, Wasatch, Juab, and Utah counties as a referral for childcare, and also help the community with the early childhood needs.
Awesome, thank you so much. And Kevin Losey.
Hi, Lisa. Good morning, everyone. Kevin Losey. I too am a Welfare and Self-Reliance Services Manager for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I am located in Payson, but then I also continue providing support south all the way down through Kanab. But good to be with you. Nothing for the group today.
Thank you. And Lad Morrell.
Thank you, Lisa. Lad Morrell, I'm a Welfare and Self-Reliance Manager also for the LDS Church. And I live in Kaysville and cover the Ogden area all the way up to Moab, Idaho. I have nothing to report other than I would love to get in contact with Craig Bradford. I believe he might be in the Huntsville area. Craig, if you wouldn't mind sharing your contact information with me in the chat, I would appreciate it so I can get in touch with you.
Perfect.
Thank you, Lisa.
You bet. Lori Harding.
Hello, everyone. I too am a Welfare Self-Reliance Manager. My area is the northwest corner of the Salt Lake Valley. I'm covering from North Salt Lake through Kearns and about half of the Salt Lake City all the way out to Magna. I don't have anything to add either. I appreciate all that you do and the information shared.
Thank you. And is that Mark Millett? Okay, if Mark Millett is, where is he? He's up north. Is he in Weber? He's emergency manager up north. So
He's Box Elder County Emergency
Elder
Manager.
Corner, great. So Mark, if you, we will go on, if you are on there and can't unmute, we'll come back to you. Randy Call.
Hi, everyone. I'm also Welfare and Self-Reliance Manager with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. My area is from BYU campus in Provo down through Spanish Fork. We had a little excitement in Springville the other day with a gas leak and explosion. 2 apartments were destroyed. No one was injured, miraculously enough. And the Red Cross was on site and got everybody taken care of short term. I'm now working with the leaders to help meet the needs long term, because there were 2 apartments that were destroyed and unlivable. So we're reaching out to Utah Care Coalition and some other places to get those 2 families taken care of.
Awesome, thank you. Robin Fredrickson.
Hello, everyone. It's so good to see you all. Tooele County just did a pod exercise end of October, well, middle of October, and went awesome, even in the rain. And so we're like, Tooele Response is moving forward, although COVID kind of shrank it a little bit, but we're working on a new Tooele Response website and adding to our app. We're adding recovery information and just trying to get more help out in Tooele County. And, you know, everybody, all of us have less help because of COVID, but I sure appreciate being part of this and hearing what's going on, because you guys do awesome stuff. And I so appreciate your guys' support. We had a little 1.6 earthquake out in Stansbury, and not that it was big, but it's just a reminder it happened. So anyway, thanks for all that you guys do, and thanks for letting me be here.
And thanks for joining us, even though you moved out of state. That's what's so awesome about technology.
Miss you, Robin, so bad.
Yeah,
I miss you too. I want to help with Slick Rock again, because I was so excited to be part of that. And I still want to. Well, just, you know, let me know what I can do.
We will do that. We will do that. Thanks, Robin. Let's see, Stephanie Ashcraft.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Ashcraft. I'm the Welfare and Self-Reliance Manager for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints that covers North Provo and all of Orem. And then I have half of the young single adult stakes as well in Utah County.
Okay.
And I have nothing to report. Just thank you for all the good that everyone's doing. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Sunshine, do you want to add anything?
No, I don't have anything else to report. Thanks, though.
Yes, and thank you for our Spanish tip earlier in the day on the Google. Much appreciated.
Welcome.
Ted Alenko with Jehovah's Witness. Do you have want to introduce yourself, and do you have anything to report?
Good morning, everyone. It's good to be here and hear your comments. So my wife and I serve here in Region 8. I'm a point of contact for our organization, Jehovah's Witnesses. And I just wanted to mention 2 points that I had in mind today. One is regarding vaccination rates in our organization. We have some documentation on that, and we're not really documenting it locally, but on a national level, we have some documentation that can be seen on our main webpage, jdb.org. But it's interesting that out of 60-some thousand that were vaccinated, only 4 had a negative reaction. And I know that sometimes regarding the vaccination, some may have fears about getting vaccinated based on misinformation about the vaccine, but that's less than 1% that had a negative reaction. So I think that reports like that have definitely helped us with our vaccination rates as well. The other point that I wanted to mention is that recently in the Wyoming news, There was a quote in the Wyoming News that referenced some comments from our United States spokesman regarding what we hope to accomplish by means of some resources, some virtual resources we provide once again through our main webpage, jw.org, regarding bullying prevention, because it's become a huge problem and the internet makes it even easier. And next week, once again, is Bullying Prevention or Anti-Bullying Week. So I wanted to comment on that. And there's a nice article there that shows, it takes you once again to our webpage, jw.org, which is it's available in more than 1,000 languages, which also includes Spanish. But it's interesting that there's some resources that we hope to provide families if they have an interest in working with their children. It definitely encourages working with children because sometimes they may not be very open about that subject. They may be experiencing it, but they may not be very open about discussing it. So it gives some helpful information there. And that's all we have to report.
Great. Ted, can you add your website into our chat so people can reference that if they would like? And Tim Brosnahan.
Hi, good to be with you. Tim Brosnahan. I am a welfare self-reliance manager and cover the areas as far north as parts of Rich County and down to Moab, so kind of the eastern side of the state. And I reside in Heber, in the Heber Valley, in Heber City. I don't really have anything new to report other than we did have a great showing last night. We held an open house with the Provo South, Provo North, and Orem, and the Wasatch County area. We had over, I think we had maybe 1,100 people show up, but these are church members, but we had an opportunity in one of those sessions to share emergency plans. And we were pleasantly surprised at the interest level that the church leaders had in creating a ward and stake emergency plan. And it was well received, and we had a great presenter for that evening. And it was just a great opportunity to share and get people organized and planning for those types of events. So that's all I have to share. Thank you very much for having us on.
Thank you. And I've got William's iPad. Who is William's iPad?
Yeah, sorry about that. That's just the way it comes up. I can't get my camera to work. William Vi. I'm emergency communication specialist in the Ogden, Utah stake. My connection here is to carry the services that VOAD can provide into the community, so that the people in my area of responsibility understand what all of you people are doing, all of the things that are being set up to help them in an emergency, and to explain to the non-members as well as the members in my area, which are, of course, all of my responsibility, that we are all here to help each other and try to get that message across so that we can get all the various faiths and beliefs and so on working together on a local basis, because all these emergencies can be big, but they're still local. They're still our neighbors. And one of the things that we're doing here that I wanted to pass along is that we have for our little city of Ogden, what we might call a high-rise care facility, minimal care facility that doesn't have radio communications in an emergency. That building is built to keep RF out, I think. The steel reinforcement inside the concrete with overhangs and so on. It's very difficult. And we're working now, my little group here in this state, to get a radio communication system set up where they can have handhelds in that building, and they can talk out to a repeater that's situated on the roof with overhanging antennas. where we can get a message out so that we can coordinate rapid damage assessment and help to those people in that facility who are going to need it, because there are many in there that are minimally mobile or not mobile at all. So anyway, that's something that can be done, and just encourage anybody out there working in their own areas to take note of these buildings that people live in that are so engineered against radio communications, that they can help those people find a way to communicate in an emergency. And I helped Bill Tolbert on this side a little bit. I'm a little bit of connection on this side of the mountain where he's up in Logan, and try to carry some messages, some other leaders similar as myself, and just to be helpful in the area. I'm retired, so this is my vocation now. Anyway, that's my talk. I really wanted to thank everybody for what you do and the peace of mind it gives me to know the resources that we have, we are able to call upon. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you. And now I'll go to the folks here that are in person. I'm Lisa Bagley. I'm president of Utah State VOAD, and I represent Latter-day Saint Charities at the VOAD table. And the only thing I've got to report is next week, as Jalay mentioned, Jalay with Red Cross and myself as president of VOAD, and Tyson Walker. And then I think there are some other VOADs that are signed up as well, but we'll be doing that rehearsal of concept exercise with FEMA next week, the 16th, 17th, and 18th. And so I'm going to go to my right to Captain Rob. And yeah, do you have anything to report?
I'm actually on the camera.
You're on the camera.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So anyhow, as far as Utah VOAD Vice President, I don't have anything except for just great job, Dave and Wayne, for getting stuff set up. For the Salvation Army, I'd like to introduce our new guy, Matt Nish. He is our special events and EDS coordinator, which is emergency disaster. So you probably see him around in different things coming up. Salvation Army is in the throes of Angel Tree, Christmas kettles, and thank you for Team Rubicon for making much of that happen, as well as I have to shout out to the food bank who helped us move over. I don't know if you all have tried to rent a truck in this town lately, but a box truck is hard to find. And so when we couldn't find one, then the food bank stepped up and helped us out. So we thank them. Other than that, we are gearing up for Slick Rock and working those different things out here from the Salvation Army. Had a great opportunity to meet with Aries and do a presentation last month. So that was good. Other than that, that's it.
Nice. Yeah, go ahead, Pat.
I'm Pat Milan. I'm the Utah section manager for the American Radio Relay League, which Aries is one of our programs. One of the interests I have is extending to local congregations, whether it's Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Wards and Stakes, or other churches. But if you have somebody that's involved in communications, that's going to be representing your group to the community, things like that, I want to invite you to be involved with Aries. There's no cost involved. There's no time commitment per se, but it gives you an opportunity to establish standards of etiquette, protocol, interoperability. So when you work with your local city or whoever, there's a common language being spoken for communications. So I just want to extend that out. If you have an interest in that, contact your local Aries person or send me an email. It's patmilan@gmail.com. But and I'll be glad to steer you in the right direction. And that way we can involve more of a community standard in terms of how we communicate. Thanks.
Awesome. Do you want to add anything?
No, there's
Steve?
nothing I need to add. Wayne and Julie covered it all.
Okay.
That's a
Jeff, do you
Gmail.
want to introduce yourself and tell the folks who you're with and what you're
So,
doing?
I'm Jeff Olson from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I'm part of a new initiative. I'm not sure where to look, but anyhow, I'm part of a new initiative that providing community outreach in Salt Lake City, and I'm just here to learn as much as I can.
Let's see. I'm just trying to. There's, is that Jeff? Can you see? Here, wave, Jeff. Yes, no? Okay, yeah, there you go. There's Jeff. Okay, great. Because I don't think you were showing up on the camera there. So thank you. And Matt, you want to introduce yourself?
Really excited to be here with you guys. It's nice to know all the different people and what they do through VOAD. This is my first meeting with you guys. Again, thanks Captain Rob for the introduction earlier. My name is Matt Nish. I'm the Special Events and Emergency Disaster Coordinator for the Salvation Army of Salt Lake City. Little history about me. I've kind of been involved in the emergency food pantry for many years. Been with the Salvation Army for about 14 years. Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Awesome, thank you. And Kelly.
Yes, ham radio has been very active this summer. We've probably had close to 25 to 30 bike races, marathons, parades that we all provided support. We have one other major event coming up. It's the first week in December. It's the National Weather Warrant, where this year, because of COVID, we won't be meeting at the Weather Bureau. We'll do it from home and over a 24-hour period. It's kind of a contest to see how many other weather stations in the United States you can contact. And typically the Salt Lake group has contacted about 30 to 35 different weather stations throughout the United States.
Excellent, thank you, thank you. Okay, is there anyone else that that I have missed who wants to give a report? Okay, excellent. So our next meeting is going to be on December the 9th. And I talked to Jueva, and it's going to be a holiday social at the Church of Scientology at 11 o'clock. And Jueva has graciously offered to have Church of Scientology donate our lunch. And I'm not sure if, if there's a point of doing Zoom, if it's going to be a social. So we'll let you know, but definitely for those who are comfortable coming in person. I know the Scientologists are very much being sticklers. You've got gloves and masks coming in, and they do. What's the fogging? What's your disinfectant called, Jueva?
It's called Decon 7, and it's a solution that was developed by the Army.
Yeah, and you guys like fog your building like every morning, or yeah,
every day. Yeah, every day.
So
and wipe down with alcohol and Decon 3 times a day. And the bathrooms are done after every person.
Gotcha. So for those of you who are interested, lunch provided by the Church of Scientology, 11 o'clock on December the 9th. And so our next meeting for VOAD, for official meeting for VOAD, will be on January 13th. If that's okay, Captain Rob, we'll do it here at Salvation Army. And then Jueva has offered the Scientology building as well. So maybe we'll alternate. And then March, at least for state, we're planning on our meeting being down in Moab for Operation Slick Rock. And then we have sort of a rough agenda set up for the next half of the year for presentations. And seeing no other business, I think our meeting is adjourned. You have anything else, Captain Rob?
No.
And thank you all very much.
Happy
And
Thanksgiving.
yeah,
Thank
happy
you.
Thanksgiving, happy Veterans Day, and December 9th for those who want to come in person. And yeah, I think if you don't come in person, then just plan on the we probably won't Zoom that meeting, since we'll just be eating lunch and socializing, and we'll see you on January.
It's Joey, but just one thing for the December 9th.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, I forgot. Head count. Yes.
Head count would be wonderful. So for lunch, and also we're going to acknowledge December 10th is the anniversary for the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So we're going to have a copy of that for everyone, and we'll do a little talk on what that's all about. So I think that's kind of significant as well.
Awesome. So if why don't you all go ahead, put in the chat if you know for sure you're going to come. And if you're thinking about it, go ahead and email me, and I can get a head count and get that to Joy.
Our new Gmail account.
Our new Gmail, shoot.
That's what I'm trying to look up.
Wayne, what's our Gmail account? I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Our Gmail account is, let me grab it.
I know it's I have it written down, but off the top of my head, I don't want to give the wrong.
VOAD Utah at Gmail, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
perfect.
VOAD Utah at gmail.com. Yep.
And then since we're kind of all signing off, maybe just send me a text or an email if you do want to attend, because that's Joey was just looking for some numbers as their
to email us.
Yeah, or email. So perfect. And thank you, everyone. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, happy Veterans Day, and have a happy Thursday.